like this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I just want it to, because my hair is darker than I thought, like underneath.
Okay.
I just want it to grow out
Soft.
naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still look good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't like all this gray. I feel like it ages me.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like the blondish color.
On the tips?
Like
The
the ones that
gold?
they, yeah,
Okay.
the ones that they did, but it's just too thick, right? Because it was just
okay.
balayage, so they just painted it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really
Like
thick.
chunky?
Yeah. See
Okay,
how,
do you
like,
want them
chunky
thinner?
Yeah, more like because my white hair grows out.
It's
It's kind
more-
of it's thin, right?
Yeah.
It's not like big chunks of white.
Yeah. Would you want the ends to be lighter? Because that photo in
Yeah.
hers, I did make her ends like a little bit, this one's a little, you see how it's a little more solid and
Yeah.
then kind of like diffuses to the root and looks more dimensional and has more of her dark.
But will it look odd if the white hair starts growing? So it'll be like
No,
white hair and
yeah.
then like darker and then lighter.
Similarly to how this gold piece grew out, yes, you would have that blonde with the roots coming in, but at least it'll be blended softer. You'll have your white in between it, so it has that like blend and connection to those pieces already.
Okay.
So it looks really soft
Okay.
versus disconnected,
Okay.
like two different colors.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
it would, that's how the blending would work for your hair. The only thing is, since I know you live far, it would just be based off your gray pattern. We could do the thinner ones, and then your front isn't really technically lighter, so I would recommend just doing like the same blend, maybe just like a pinch lighter, because generally that looks a little bit nicer aesthetic wise.
Okay.
And then as far as the blend, just something more like baby lighted, more natural, just dark. Even though like, yeah, you have a lot of like silver on top,
Yeah.
but blended very similar to this because it looks more dark than light.
Okay.
Like it looks more pepper than light, so
Yeah.
having the highlights look essentially more dimensional and more of the dark, and just have the highlights there to just like enhance it would
Okay.
look a lot prettier and make
Okay.
you go a little bit longer.
Okay.
But I would recommend just like having some of the ends a little bit lighter.
Sure.
Not solid though,
Yeah.
because your ends are technically a little bit darker actually.
Okay.
So just something just to break it up.
Okay.
But I would still just do more of like a very dimensional, just to kind of enhance what you currently have,
Okay.
so that when it grows out in a year or so, you still feel good about it. And
Okay.
like you'll still have roots, you'll still have like, it'll be kind of like a blondish tone unless you use like purple shampoo or purple mask. But at least the gray will be nicely woven in with the color, and it looks really dimensional rather
Okay.
than solid and chunky in those areas where
Okay.
it doesn't blend with your gray.
Yeah, I trust you. Whatever your recommendation is.
Okay, and then do you want to do a haircut or a blow dry?
I do.
Okay, how
Yeah.
much do you want to cut off?
I would like to cut off quite a bit. Like
Okay, a couple
much.
inches.
Yeah.
And then, did you like your last haircut?
I did like my yes.
Okay, do you want me to just go kind of based off that? It looks like you have
Sure,
like a little
yeah.
bit. Was this a bang or a face frame?
No, I don't usually do
Okay,
bangs.
so like a long face frame,
Yeah.
and then layers in the back.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to. I'm outdoors a lot, so I put my hair in a pony. I want to be able to. It
Oh.
needs to be long enough to put in a ponytail.
Okay,
that's
sounds
all.
good. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this week I have a new client who actually did quite a road trip to come see me. She drove from Arizona. So today we're trying to look for a look that is going to just get her to have something extremely low maintenance and just pretty much enhance her natural gray. Her gray pattern isn't super consistent throughout, so I want to kind of even that out a little bit too, and have it to where when her roots do grow in, they look extremely natural, and the highlights and everything just like it looks like a natural highlight and just looks very well blended and doesn't look like she needs her hair done right away. So in the back I am starting around the nape, and I'm doing some baby lights around the hairline mixed in with a medium-sized weave just to kind of break this part up, because right around the nape there is the connection to the front hairline money piece area, so I always like to make sure that I hit those areas first. And then I'm going to dive into my signature foil placement where I take the back section in a center section, taking slices. Now, even though we're doing something that's going to be very soft and dimensional, she doesn't have a lot of gray. I'm taking paper thin slices, but spacing them out quite a bit. We're leaving some good amount of negative space, but I just want the back to be broken up a little bit because essentially these foils below the occipital in the back of the head will essentially kind of have that connection to the ends of her hair. So I don't want to miss this part because we are going to layer her hair. So I want to make sure that I get this part and just kind of softly break it up. Now I'm gonna do a placement on the top mohawk section a little bit different, but I do the slices up until we get to her sections that are more of her visual sections. When I say a visual section, that's kind of like her veil on top of everything that lays on top of the section that we're working on right now. I would consider this underneath section more of like the interior because this part you don't see when she wears her hair at a natural fall. And this is where we just kind of want to break it up and keep it looking natural. Now I'm taking my sections very thin because I want to get the clean, even lift. And the best way to get that is to make sure that your sections are not too thick, especially when working with darker levels. And she has really pretty natural gray. Most of her hair is virgin. There's a few highlights on the ends that she did mention that felt a bit chunky. So I want to make sure that the rest, wherever her visuals are, don't feel that way. So now that I'm working a little bit closer towards the top where this is going to be her visual section. And again, the visual section is kind of where it lays on top of everything. So when she wears her hair normally just down wherever she parts it naturally, this is the part that she's going to see the most. So in this section, this is kind of where I switch from doing the slices to now more of like a baby light, if you want to call it, or a baby weave, just to kind of mimic her gray pattern. And I'm going to pretty much continue this all the way up for the rest of the mohawk. Now, whenever you're doing any type of gray blending transformation, you want to consider if they want something that looks extremely natural or if they want something that looks more lighter and enhancing. We were kind of going for more of a natural look, so I'm going to be doing baby lights based off of her gray pattern. Now, where she had the most gray focus on the very top, I felt like it was more dark and pepper than anything. So I am spacing out my weaves a little bit, giving them a little bit more of a dropout in between these foils because I feel like that is what's going to help with blending as this grows out. So I did her money piece area, but I didn't do it too much lighter. I did very like small baby lights back to back, and then now after those two baby lights, I am spacing and giving a little bit more dimension in between each foil. As I connect this front to the back, I will be intentionally spacing out the rest of the foils a little bit further apart as I try to get closer towards the back section. And this is just to create that blend to where the front does get a little bit gradually lighter, but only because the foils are spaced a little bit closer together with a little bit less dropout. But I'm not trying to do anything too heavy of a front money piece or anything like that, so we are just doing a weave pattern. Now if she wanted a really bold and heavier money piece, I would definitely do more slicing or spacing the foils a lot closer together. But again, we're going for something natural. She doesn't live super close by, so we want something that is going to give her the most longevity and just fade out the best with her gray pattern. And that's kind of ultimately what I decided just by looking at her hair and hearing what her concerns were for her hair. So now I'm working up towards the sides. I do above the ear, I'm doing a weave, and then I started to do my slicing pattern up the side just like how I did in the back in that back mohawk section. I'm pretty much repeating that just on the side and connecting the front to the side. And again, this is more of like the interior. This is where it's like non-visual when she wears her hair down naturally. So I am going in with the slices, paper thin, and then right there as I get closer towards the temples sides of her head, I'm starting to do my weave pattern again. And I'm going to continue doing that all the way up until I reach the other side of the mohawk. After I do all her root foils, now I do like the effect to where the ends are just softly lighter than the front and the roots. So I want to make sure that we're not doing anything too solid because we still want it to look extremely natural and lived in and just super blended, like she was born with these natural highlights. So I just did a very soft dimensional tip out from mostly focusing around the front, and then just to kind of like break up the ends to make sure that the front looks lighter. So once her foils were done, she lifted to a clean level 9 and 10, and now I'm going in with the Danger Jones gloss toners. For her root formula, I am using 5-1 and 6-01, and I'm applying that to her root, I would say about 1/2 inch, and then I do like to brush out the root shadow all the way through. For her lighter formula on the ends, I am going to be using the 6-01 with 9-12 to kind of give it a more gray look so that it also fades out beigey, because she did like how her ends looked a little bit more on the blonde side. But since we took very thin sections everywhere, it's going to look a lot more soft and blended opposed to chunky how she had some of her previous highlights.
Oh my god.
Feels good?
Yes. This is amazing.
Awesome.
Oh my god, it's gorgeous.
Yay! No, yeah, I love the blend.
It's gorgeous. It's so pretty.
Alrighty guys, so here is the finished result. We absolutely love this, and it honestly looks so beautiful, natural right at that root. Even though we left her natural gray in between those baby lights on the very top, it blends so well and seriously looks like her hair. Now when this fades out, it will get a little bit lighter, a little bit more golden, just like those pieces that she pointed out during our consult that she did like. Except this time when it does grow out, these pieces will look a little bit finer and more blended in with everything else. Alrighty guys, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.